I find that entrepreneurs overcomplicate things. So a lot of times we get in the heat of the battle, trying to grow our businesses, trying to figure out what can I do to make more money? What can I do to get more customers? What can I do to make this thing work? When you put all that content out into the world, you transcend from selling to serving to prescribing. But you've got to give before you get. That's law. You can't get around that. If you're looking for like a shot in the arm in your business, a way to grow really, really fast, using strategic alliances or joint ventures, what I call marketing leverage, is one of the most powerful tools that you can use.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
What this does, so like if you break it down to its fundamental pieces, what makes this work so well is that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust, right? And so whenever you're trying to build a new relationship with a prospect or a lead, you've got a lot of ground to cover. And I often say that people buy in layers, people learn in layers, and people also build trust in layers. So with every contact over time, you build up more and more and more trust, and especially if you're already providing a solution to someone. So if you think about one of those companies that might also be providing a product or service to the same target market you want to go after, but they're not competing with you, so you wouldn't be taking money out of their pocket by them making an introduction. If you can get them to endorse you or make an introduction to them, and there's another special component we'll talk about in a few moments, you get to bypass a lot of that heavy lifting and hard work that goes into building that initial relationship, because they've already done it. They've already been mailing those people. They've already served those people. They've already met those people. They've already solved their problems. They've built trust and they've built a relationship. And you're getting to bypass all of that effort and piggyback on the back of that.
My prices are so small you can barely see them.
This is some small prices.
I was talking to someone here a while back and they were absolutely overworked, worn slap dab out, and they're like, I can't possibly take on any more clients. But they wanted to grow their income. And I'm like, increase your prices. If you have demand in your business and you're maxed out and you want to make more money, the next logical thing is to raise your prices. You'll make more money for the same amount of time. Something else usually happens too. Usually you have a little bit of fallout, and when you do, it's usually the worst people. The worst clients are the ones that usually go away.
I'd like to return this camera, please.
Yeah? What seems to be the problem?
It doesn't take good pictures.
The less I try to be the expert in all these different areas and go try to find people that are much smarter, much more capable, much more skilled at me, like the more success that I have.
I got it under control. I've sorted it out. We're good. Yes.
And it's really tough. And it's tough whenever you're good at something that you shouldn't be doing too. Like, I came up in a graphics background. Jesse knows this, Jay knows this. Like, I had a real challenge letting go of graphics.
I'll never let go. I promise.
Because it's something that I know well, and I've myself created over 1,000 logos easily, maybe more than that in my lifetime. Done gobs of magazines and flyers and brochures and on and on and on. So I'm capable, but is that the highest use of my time? And so you have to look at that in business. You have to say, number one, what do I not have time for? Number two, what should I not be doing just because there is someone else who could do it as good or even better than me, while I go focus on something that I could derive a higher value from? And number three, like, what do I actually suck at that I need to make sure that I stay away from?
But it's your interpersonal rating I'd like to drill down on. It's at 1.5. Your coworkers find you unapproachable, rude, and capable of great hurt with an unsettling stare.
Okay.
This is a principle that I learned years ago. It's that good marketing enters the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. So what does that mean? It means you have to know what your market's thinking in order to craft a marketing message that will resonate with them. then you also need to know how do they articulate that problem to themselves. What is it that they say to themselves about that? What do they tell other people about that problem or frustration? What words do they use? Because when you can get that and then put that into your marketing, you become so much more powerful. It's funny because people are like, oh, I gotta get better at writing sales copy or marketing copy. No, you just need to figure out what your market is already saying and then regurgitate that back to them. Another cool tool is like going on Amazon, or in the old school days we had forums. There's a few forums still out there, but going on Facebook groups and going on Amazon and places where people are asking questions about a product or a service or a topic and looking at how they articulate it. So like if you sold some sort of a debt settlement solution, something that helped people that were in debt, I would want to go research all the books on debt in Amazon and then look at how are they asking questions and commenting, and even people that have reviewed that book, how did they write? You know, I was dealing with this and this happened and I got this book and it's the greatest thing, and you know, like, so how do they write? How do they articulate what their frustration or their problem is? When you get that right, then you can put those words in your marketing.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm ready to take on the Catalina wine mixer.
Ho, ho, slow down there, Speed Racer.
I know what it entails, and I'm ready to nail it. I want it.
Now, it can be a free event or it could be a paid event. So let's talk about free events for just a second. I helped a jeweler one time. We created an event called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Diamonds But Were Afraid to Ask. But what he did was he invited all of his customers, and he kind of made it a public event, and we served some hors d'oeuvres, and he did a little educational session. They showed people some new merchandise, and he sold out a really strong 5 figures in that one evening.
You think you're ready to run with the bulls?
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing checks.
In an event that just cost him a couple $100 to put on. So that's kind of a neat thing. I taught another chiropractor how to do this type of thing, having an event. He sold $75,000 worth of chiropractic services in one event. So events can be powerful as a education tool, as a reconnecting tool, a way to build bond. If you're a local business, this is a no-brainer. You should be doing this on some kind of a regular basis.
If you pull it off, I look like a genius to the board.
But let's talk about paid events for a second. So if you're looking for a cash injection in your business, and maybe you sell a product or a service or advice or information, is there something you could do to serve the best of your clients at a higher level? So if they're buying your product or service, is it possible that they might want to send their employees to be certified on your product, your solution, your software? Maybe that certification is something you can charge for.
I've seen them do it.
Or maybe you've got individuals or business owners or somebody that is your client, and you're selling them a product or a subscription or some kind of information that we would consider lower ticket, a few dollars up to a few $100s.
I've seen them do it.
But maybe you could create a weekend event where the most interested and the most engaged people that want to learn at the highest level and have the highest value in return would be willing to pay a few $1,000s or several $1,000s, $10,000, $20,000.
I've seen them do it.
Why does he keep doing that?
It's not uncommon to come to a mastermind event or some kind of a special group coaching event where you have 4 or 6 or 8 or 12 people, but they get to learn at a much higher level, engage with other people like them, and be able to invest in themselves. And so that's another thing. What it does, okay, it's beyond just the cash flow. It connects you to the people that you serve. And when you connect with people that you serve, you're going to learn about their problems, their frustrations, they're going to share their stories, their background that you never got in that previous engagement because you're in a completely different environment. That information will give you the insights that you need to go out and serve and find and acquire and attract more people just like them.
I've seen them do it.
Why does he keep doing that?
I've seen them do it.